What a start to this Grand Finals best of 5. Gambit, they took map 1 after double overtime. I'm back on the desk with Kakuka, Bala and Gio. Now, Kakuka, it was a slower start for Gambit. Things were looking great. That famous defense half then came in, and then overtime. I feel like we're spoiled. We had absolutely everything in this game.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, Gambit starting slow is something that we can expect in almost every single map, but I feel like especially when it comes to Envy on that second half, they started making mistakes that they were not making before, and it got me, raised a lot of questions. I really like the fact that Chronicle stepped up for the team. We mentioned it, we talked about it on the pre-show, and I feel like his awareness of what was going on in every single round was decisive to Gambit.
We saw definitely two different Gambits in that game, right? Literally, we're talking about the first half for a second here. I think that game could have ended in that first half the way that they were playing, right? The mistakes that they were making on their first attacking side, but it flipped, right? Chronicle kept them in a game a little bit, and I think Envy also kind of bit themselves in the foot the way that they were playing some of those earlier rounds where they're pushing into trying to catch them off guard, where you know that Gambit's going to be playing slow, but then that second half was just gorgeous.
I mean, I have to say that there are a couple of moments that really stood out to me. For example, when we see Nats getting caught out in his position where he's like lurking and waiting for them to, make a mistake, which is what Gambit like to play as. And Envy reading into that is something I was really impressed by.
I'm so glad we pointed out Chronicle, before the game, speaking about every individual player's impact in this. Bala, he really, really stepped up.
Yeah, I mean, that clutch to start things off really for Gambit. This is the round right here. This was so nice. He had the 2 shock darts. He knew what was coming. And unfortunately, I feel like Envy just didn't have the right read on them. And then, of course, this round was just ridiculous. Literally, this is the types of stuff that we're talking about. He was keeping them in the game in that first half.
One of the things that we always talk about Gambit is that the 5 players are always going to stand up in some situation. Lovely that we talk about Chronicle, because in this game, he was there for the team 100%.
I mean, what's always impressed me about Gambit is the fact that it's not a team that you just look at and you go, oh, Defo, he's the duelist. He's always going to be the guy who's popping off. It really feels like the others are doing a lot of heavy lifting a lot of the time, and Chronicle performing like that is a perfect example.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things happen in that game. I feel like we were spoiled, like I said. Yes. What a start, especially after yesterday with all of the 2-0s we had. But I cannot wait to see what Sean Guest thought about that. He's standing by to break some of that down.
Oh man, Sue, we had so many good plays throughout that entire game, but I want to focus on 2 defensive rounds that I saw that really caught my eye. The first one from Envy, and then we're going to get into a really cool round by Gambit. But let's start off here with the shower control. So right off the bat, you can see FNS has put his wall up in showers, and it's actually going to end up netting him a kill. In addition to that, we see Marv has an Astra Star at the end of showers, just in case anyone comes in. He can turn that into a gravity well. But look at all of these Astra Stars that Redgar has set up across the map. All of these ways to prevent any aggression that Envy wants to bring into the picture. But Envy isn't looking to be aggressive on this round. You can see right at the start of the round, we have Victor and FNS getting shower control, Victor going up and getting that orb, and the orb actually causes Redgar to peek into this angle that FNS is holding. It was all a bait. And FNS gets this frag, and we're about to see it in a split second. But first, let's see how they rotate back. You can see Victor flashes off short A, and then the retake for B happens. So we're going to quickly see in a second how FNS gets that frag in shower. But first, you can see there's the Astra wall hidden. Here's FNS in shower. You can see he puts down his wall, gets that frag onto Redgar, and right away, you can see Gambit has rolled into this B take, and they've recognized this as a retake on B setup because the Seekers were sent in. Look at this wall, though, that Marv has thrown across B. It is the perfect counter for this triple elbow setup that Gambit find themselves in. But more importantly, it blocks off this hookah side angle if there was anyone there. In addition to that, it creates this little pocket that Envy is very, very aware of, and Crashy's moves very quick to get into that corner. So you can see they're retaking through spawn, and just look at the attention to detail, by the way. Marv is holding this elbow push. These 3 are all focused on the front of the site. Everyone is working up together, and now once they're in, FNS gets this frag right before the Cosmic Divide goes up. And just for those of you that don't play the game very much, you can't spam through this Cosmic Divide, so Gambit has no option but to come through it. And here you see they're a little confused. What ends up happening is they sky flash through and they try to come through on the opposite side of the wall first. But what we've seen from pro players all tournament long is they sit on this edge just like this, and they sit right up against the wall. If you come through it, it's an easy frag for them where you can't even fight back. And if you come through on the other side, you would have to be looking parallel to the wall, which is very unlikely. So you can see it's so easy for Crashies right now. He gets blind by the Sky Flash, turns around, gets that frag, and he also gets the last frag on Shadows. Now we're going to go into the next half. This round is such a cool ult from Nats. I love this approach to the B site, and he still has tricks up his sleeves in the grand finals, which is insane to me. So you can see right off the bat, what's going to happen is Defo is going to take this pick, and then he actually repositions the top site for another shot over the Viper ult. This Viper ult is ridiculous. In addition to that, you can see the Viper toxic screen is cutting off multiple angles. The defenders actually would have to guard this or the attackers would have to cross there, they would have to cross into hookah, and again once they get into hookah. In addition to that, it blocks the garden entrance. So as we roll the clip, you can see that Envy is completely unaware of this little corner that Nats has found. Wait till you see this from his perspective. It is absolutely ridiculous. He tanks a Seeker from this corner, and they still don't know where he is. So there's Defo getting the opening pick, Nats setting up the toxic screen at the start of the round, and this is that lineup for the ult. It's actually insane the preparation that both of these teams have brought into this grand final. So you can see the round is starting, and here's that ult. Watch this angle that he finds. So he has Defo make a large presence by peeking out of hookah, then he just weasels his way in here, gets hit by a Seeker. So Envy has the knowledge of where he is, but it's just such an outrageous location to check. Oh my goodness, they all jump right by him. He gets an easy 3K, and you can actually see he's forced to crouch in that corner. You can see it from that angle that he was just in. Just such an outrageous play by Nats, and I love the preparation that both of these teams have brought into Map 1. It's been such a treat to watch, and I can't wait for Map 2, guys.
We can't wait for that either, Sean. I'm excited to see more stuff he needs to break down because so many things is happening at once. But we got to talk about Haven. That's map 2. Again, in a best of 5. This map for Gambit, not the best. However, Kakuka, the results beg to differ.
Okay, if someone has never watched Gambit before, I understand that you go and look at the data and you say, oh my god, they're great on this Haven. No, okay? No, that is not the case. They just play randomly and they're good individually. So they managed to win a couple maps. But with Bind being a map that, you know, goes around the defense so much, Haven is right the opposite. And I feel like Envy has a great shot here. The fact that Victor, Marge, and Ye have been performing so good during the entire tournament, but especially yesterday and also today, this should be one for Envy.
Yeah, I know. All of that stuff definitely makes sense, but I also feel like Haven is one of these maps where, I don't know, the meta kind of is easy if you're Gambit, right? You kind of have played these comps that are really good on Haven in the past, right? There's the Sky is something that you're bringing out, the Sova is something you're bringing out Astra. I mean, sure, you could look at what they played in the past and be like, oh, well, there's no way. But, I mean, if they just go into the regular stuff, I'm not seeing too much of a problem.
Right, there's no regular.
I mean, it is interesting to me because the last couple of times that Gambit have played on this map, neither of which have been in this tournament. They've been back in EMEA. They go for that double duelist composition, whether it's a Jet Rain or a Jet Raze, they're probably going to be bringing 2 out. As you see on your screen, currently it's Jet. Don't think that's going to happen. Meanwhile, on the side of Envy, they only bring out 1 duelist typically.
Yeah, we're into the Prime Gaming Agent Select now. Just want to give you guys some context. The reason we're seeing Jet is because Redgar has only played Jet and Reyna on this map in stage 3, and he basically, here we go, the Reyna has come out. He's explained this to us before, that when it comes to Haven, they don't have any strats here, and they just sit down in a room and go, hey, what do you want to play today? I kind of fancy Brimstone, which Chronicle might lock in. And Redgar, he never gets to play the duelist, and Bala, we're going to see him on the duelist today. Oh. And yeah, there you go, the Brimstone.
I'm speechless.
I knew this was coming. Listen. Okay, I have a theory before we toss to casters. Maybe they've tried this composition, checked that they need no strats, and they're like, okay, this is it. This is going to be our strat.
Well, they beat Ascend here, so let's see what they can do now. They took map 1, but this is a marathon, not a sprint. Time to jump into map 2 with Pansy and Hypok.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? It's got a bit fruity. What are your thoughts seeing that coming through?
A wise man once said, if you don't know what you're doing, how are your enemy's supposed to know what you're doing? I think this here is probably one of the best examples we'll have in VALORANT today. Again, we saw those tiny pieces in terms of preparation and knowing what Gambit we're going to do. The set piece on short with Nats. So this here is concerned. Envy need to be back to aggression. Good start. Yay, perfect example. Going to find Rekdar.
Yeah, I actually love how Envy play this map, personally. I think
Well,
you can see it here, and it's a great example. Thanks, Envy. You make it look real good. Shadows and Defo, I don't know what they're going to do with this one. That spike's not really committed anywhere just yet either. It looks like he's going to go for that ceiling eventually, and yes, Shados has been able to put himself in a decent enough spot. But yeah, they'll check. Jump peeking, not going to let it happen. Just those right clicks. Got to keep the movement pretty critical. And there it is, yeah, at the end. Envy with a belting start, and again, this should be, I feel like, a clean Envy victory here.
I think so too. The key thing is can they maintain? Can they kind of sustain this pace and this tempo throughout the entirety of this half?
Yeah.
If ever we want to give the benefit to starting halves, Gambit are on defense, so we can.
You're
we can
trying.
maybe- I'm
You're
trying. I'm trying desperately.
You found like 3 things that maybe could work when we're seeing
the
that
death
line
segment
up.
was so fascinating, and you know there were so many talking points about exactly what we were going to. No, okay, right. Well, let's see what happens. I'm here for it.
We're here for the ride. Maybe there is method to the madness. Maybe Redgar's going to hit a couple of nice shots. Could help. Now keep in mind the purchase back here from Envy isn't, you know, the best thing in the world. It's still going to be missing some odds and ends. So there's still potential here. As Chronicles just killed Yay. It's 4v3.
What Gambit are doing? They're literally just death balling. There's 3 members here. Marv, gotta be aware of actually the counter peek comes through. Yeah.
He's
Back
low.
away from that.
He has to respect it because he's the only one with any sort of semblance of a rifle, be it a Bulldog or not. And FNS down to 40 as well.
This is huge.
This has become really possible now. Crash is trying to get involved. Oh god, Crashes is dead. I guess if it works, it works. However, they still need to get past FNS and Mark. Flash comes in, they were waiting for that to come through. Still a bit of utility that Mark can utilize, but Shadows actually thread the needle. I think he's a little further ahead than Marv expected. And now Red Guy into a 1v1. He's on 2 HP. No way it's gonna happen. FNS keeps us sane here for now.
One survives.
Yep.
And actually, on the flip side of that conversation we just had, what did Gambit do, and is that sustainable over the entirety of their defensive half? Do we keep seeing weird rounds like this, walking mid? Again, we know Envy rely heavily on FNS to control that grass area outside double doors on the back of the turret. So whether or not FNS is able to single-handedly stop some of these weird rounds from Gambit, we'll have to wait and see.
It just feels like a whole sentence of just wait and see what happens.
We'll have to wait and see counter up on screen for
Yeah.
Haven.
Yeah, maybe just weird as a word counter. Also very enjoyable. And Redguard just being punished so quickly. Victor, way too sharp for that. FNS doing what he does best. Threading that needle. He will be in the most annoying position to deal with as he's slowly creeping up. Way ahead of expectation, but Defo still checks it with good intent. So now 1-for-1 trade out. Spike is now leaning towards that A side, but again, it is Nats here. And he's quite the player, quite good at this. That's quite a nice sight to be holding with a Cypher, so to really enjoy that. Now, the Spike is once again working through sewer. We have Marved backside of mid. Crash is pushing up deep ahead of where Chronicle may expect. And still a great peek. Still clears it just fine. The camera awaits. It's been caught off. Okay, so Nats now has to depend a little on the rifle in his hand.
They found my wire.
How much more can he get out of this? Apparently he doesn't need to. Chronicle's there with him. And now Marv presented a 1v4. This is just so out of the ordinary. Nats drops down, takes off his head. And Gambit with 4 alive win their first buy.
Yeah, and look to Nats to do what we've just seen there. Again, allow the rest of Gambit to go hunting. Again, the early round doesn't exactly go in their favor, but perfect example here where Nats will literally be in his spy camp from the second that spawn barrier drops and just in position to relay that information when it comes through. Actually going to see Defo over this side.
What's the buy like for Envy off this?
There's marshals. Yay and Marv have marshals. So Whether or not they can find an entry here. Crash is actually very quickly going to tuck himself into sewers. Get no. 2 members to defend. Chronicle has to swing in mid here, and Ye will be gifted an entry.
And Mars found one too.
Of course.
Of course, the Marshals often win out against the rifles. In anyone's hands. Quite the heavy investment. Of course, once again, sarcasm coming in droves at this point. Nats is, however, posted up on long, so...
Oh! Okay.
Yeah, right click saying working now.
Yeah.
Okay, and the ult comes through. He's going to be challenged on long, though. He's got to be careful on this if they decide to swing through, but they want to push towards CT. He's found the spike. Now, there is a player on the other side, that being Marved. Quite tricky to clear this, though, with that Marshal.
One enemy remaining.
Catch Crashes as well. Nats will find his third. Again, nice little setup there. Difficult to dig him out, but I think if anyone was in a position to, the fact that the cage pops and Victor isn't necessarily inside of that audio cue was coming anyway if Victor decided to move or swing on anything else, so you had to gamble on that. Gambit will tie things up to a piece now. Purchase comes through. Look at the ultimates. Crashy's the only one missing his. And yeah, you got that operator online as well.
Yeah, plenty to bring out this time for Envy on the other side. Rifles. And a timeout. A late timeout call as well. What's the discussion at 2-2?
How's everyone feeling? Did you wish you picked anything else? Anything you guys want to do in the next round? Where should we push?
I guess there is, as you said, there is something to be said about when you're so used to playing within a certain meta and kind of punishing certain aspects. When that adjusts, it does put you out of your comfort zone as well.
Especially with something that's so visible with Gambit, right? You can really anticipate the pace of Gambit, what they're going to do, the early round setting up, and just trying to, you know, that information gathering. Here, it's like you got to throw all that. You're basically playing a different team.
Yeah.
And a weird comp on top of that. So
exactly.
For a team to completely switch up and play totally out of character actually makes it throws that preparation factor out the window. I mean, you can come in and say, yes, 2-0 on Haven, but how much actual data is there for Envy to go, okay, well, what can we learn from what they've done previously here?
Yeah, but obviously that is always counteracted and counterbalanced with, I'd say, additional weight that Envy across the board are better at this map.
And actually, FNS is a key component of that, right?
Absolutely.
We talked about his ability to find a read on certain rounds, his grasp on the overall kind of timings and that rotation factor, which is always prominent on Haven, but what happens there? Actually, Defo and Redgar looking to get a little aggro on long.
Switch up as well, that B site now being controlled by Nats, and as you
He's in his
highlighted, of course he is. Where else would he be? Why would he be anywhere else? And we actually have the Sky leaning over too, so quite the stack out here now. Nats was actually towards this in that prior round. Ult comes in, and the reply from Brim. So it's a lovely denial of this, but there is also a walk up towards B, and that's where the spike is. So yes, the pick is on A long, but keep your eyes on B and keep your eyes on Nats. How much is... He knows they're holding the angle. He still tries to swing it. Crash is just better right now. And a pop flash for Shados turns in perfectly, but he can't double down. Marved with an excellent trade, keeping such numbers favorable towards Envy here. Defo, yeah, he's been noted. Red like a book. And Marv, what a way to confirm it. That could have been dangerous. It just wasn't.
And a great example of what Envy were trying to achieve on the first map, that push and pull, right? Ye stays on long to, yes, secure the lockdown. They know the orbital strike's coming through, but they're so proactive in the first 3 or 4 seconds of that lockdown. Yeah. They're already moving. They're already pushing towards B. The Seekers come out, and actually, Nat's in that kind of anchor position. He's completely isolated because they know, yes, he's on site, probably sat in his camera, and he's probably going to try and play off a cage. Now, yes, he has kind of a split-second decision to make. That swing there, there's nobody in position to get there quick enough. So that's why he solo challenges in that scenario.
You want to fight it?
Early divide. We see all the ults being worked through, but do you expect Redgar walking mid? I don't know. 29 HP and chased down by FNS trying to close that gap, but Defo with a big punish on the top side of B. He even predicts that Ye would be trying to be near that headshot angle, but Ye's still better. But Nats, I mean, they thought there could be a chance. Did he spot Ye then? I don't know if he did. The timing is going to be interesting. But keep in mind that Crashies is still watching this. Crashies is super aware that that was left open. There was a little bit of a window of opportunity, but now Chronicle fancies a go. Well, Nat's tried his best. I'll see if I can do one better. And Shados towards CT with a jumping up shot towards Marved.
Yeah, now all on Chronicle. Try and find something. Spike will be planted completely unopposed. Again, the reason we see crashes in that scenario, he's got the Hunter's Fury. He wants to be kind of that final post-plant contingency for them. Now we'll regroup on site. Again, Envy want to try and keep 3 up here. Enemy going to happen though. Chronicle will find 1 on the way in. Okay, with the counter beat. So, well cleaned up.
And then let's switch this into long-term conversation, right? We talk about a best of 5, and we'll say it again, the word marathon gets thrown around a lot, and it is, but this is a really good confidence booster, or it should be, for Envy. This is going to keep them right back on track if they just go through the motions. We know they can. Every single one of their players starts having a good time of it. Gambit, I feel like they've already somewhat adjusted their expectations here. Let's see if we can do something a little out of the blue. Let's see if we can do something weird here. Because if we played this in our traditional style, if we came out with, you know, maybe a mirror comp, whatever, it wouldn't have worked. This is not their map that they play to this extent. So again, they're going to try and get away with it. But Envy should, by all accounts, have a clean map. So that to them will be a massive boost to the mental game for them. After having a very close map 1, a loss in OT, this is a really good way to stabilize and go forward at a 1-1.
I was almost saying, actually, we'll trade some shots back and forward. That's bang on the money with that, doing a fair bit of damage, but actually the heal will come through from Victor.
That's okay.
Actually, Seekers will be invested here on the side of Gambit. Crashes planted, Nats gets a headshot, but no follow-up here.
What? Where's the goal? Hello? Hello?
What?
How has Chronicle just got 3 kills
He's
as
30
well?
HP.
And Victor's in so much trouble. He was the original player that Nats had heard, but Victor gets himself towards B, can pick up the spike, but look at the positioning and the adjustment from Chronicle. He slipped through Garage, gone all the way back around to B, can confirm, well, he's not on site right now, so he's going to have to have picked up the spike and try to maybe lean towards C, because he can't get towards A. It's that kind of process of elimination, but a pause for thought here. They need to try and work out each other's positioning. He will have his flash up in 15 seconds. Nats has now cleared
30
A.
seconds
This is where it
left.
gets a bit scary if they have to clean those kind of connectors between B and that A site, but they'll work their way through and it will eliminate all these other areas that could have contained Victor. Now, he's going to have his flash back up. He's got 15 seconds. This could be incredibly smart. If you can get this pick.
Well.
He hasn't got the time for it.
10 seconds left.
5 more seconds,
One
or
enemy
just
remaining.
a bullet. Chronicle cresting the corner, a little surprised at that. I thought he was going to just play towards CT. Flash comes in, doesn't catch Nats. That's a huge information gathering moment that just went astray. Victor's flash just went a little too deep, had no idea Nats was there.
The timing there for Nats to actually be out of line of sight of that flash. Again, it just, you're right, turned that second corner in spawn. What an insane round though.
Okay.
Okay, how does he follow up on that? Oh, okay. Chronicle's looking absolutely deadly today. I mean, actually, yeah. I think Nats is the perfect response there. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm not flashed, I'm counting, but he's going to have no idea this swing's coming.
Yep. That's dreamy. That's something you get gifted, and that round felt so out of nowhere. Because, yeah, Nats' position was the kind of critical piece that I was kind of interested in. Because he got that flank, but didn't quite get the denial in the end. He got the tag, but no follow-up. But then, hey, Chronicle's right there with it. So, I mean, why not? Hop early of the ult, crashes. Not getting too much, and a counter roll as well towards C-Long, but they're already up. They're already in the face, but Chronicle, he's there! He's found one in a second! The third! Chronicle! What an animal for Gambit right now, leaving Envy in tatters. As what are you meant to do with this one? Crashy's trying to do something, find an isolated player towards Garage, but the net's closing in, and Redgar's got him. Chronicle, if this is him finding his footing here, I'm all aboard. Show me what you got, buddy.
That is beautiful as well. The orbital strike, again, pushes them out. Nats actually challenges here to try and find something on the way in. But again, it completely splits Envy in half. And Chronicle makes the most of that final 2 seconds of the ult being there, breaking line of sight. Nobody else can push up to trade. Really, really great uses of the orbital strike.
They've broken the money. They're down to, I think they've got 1 rifle, 1 bulldog, yeah. 2 frenzies and a marshal. Not a bad purchase in the hands of Envy, to be fair.
Mid.
Against like, potentially a weird buy. Yeah. Have a go. Ooh. Backs off from it. Devo has to respect that. Even if it is just a marshal in Ye's hands, that thing will find what it needs, but a walk up middle 3 players. Mark just got punished so badly. Redgar, oh my word, the bait and switch. Chronicle was right by his side, but crashes. somehow brings us back to a 3v3. I thought there was no way, but Nats is right there, and FNS just has to hold his nerve, get that spike down, do what he can for the side, caught in the heels, and now Nats is going to close that gap. Ye knows pressure is coming. Nats now swings it, Ye denies it. And a 1v2, ults come online, the Flash still knows he's in towards headshot, but he finds Defo, he's gone again, oh, Yay, he switched to the other side, what does Shados do? No Flash, no nothing, it's just the gun at his side right now, and Yay is gonna, oh, he's made a miss, he's made a fumble, but he's still got a chance at this, he's trying to buy the time, Yay!
No way.
Cometh the hour, cometh the man, Yay is just about keeping Envy in the lead here. What a weird round. Can we just,
what a weird map so far. It's just... I got nothing for you. I got
through this. So
absolutely
when you have a Marshall in a 1v3, how do you win that?
I'm absolutely... Again, initially Gambit, like, yeah, let's just run it down, charge him down. He's got a Marshall, right? He can't kill us all. Nats with that kind of, again, ahead of the curve that swing just at the end of the cage. Nobody else has got line of sight. Nobody else can comfortably swing and trade that. But I guess if it works, again, we talk about replicating the success, right? And how sustainable it is. Can MV do that every round?
I mean, Gambit are also pushing the extremity, so let's see what we make. Victor's making a dash like, hold on, that's weird and I don't like it. I'm going to head somewhere else. I'm going to look towards A. You guys are making good progress. I'll come over here. Now, there is a big problem at the back of the side, but Ye's got the timing just right, but Ye spots another. Now, Defo has to respect it too, because Ye is on a tear right now. Seekers go down and they confirm the site is ours. We're okay for now. Maybe that flank getting them a little bit worried after a while, after meeting two players pushing up C long, but we're in the post plant. As it stands, Envy in good positions.
An awful lot here to fight back in with the side of Gambit, but the Empress will be popped, a flash through. Aaliyah to kind of layer that blind as well.
They're just feeling out these positions. They know one's graffiti, they know one's hell, but they can't break it down. This is such a strong crossfire until then. Shados and Defo hold on. A 1v2 not going to happen. Envy stamping their authority now, looking a little bit more comfortable with a slight lead.
2 rounds separate them, and Chronicle again 13 and 8. He's having a really good start to Haven in this first half here, but Gambit going to be forced just Sheriffs to throw at this one, and SMG actually on the side of Shados and Chronicle. Orbital Strike available once again. Envy here looking to, definitely looking to convert this one, but these are the rounds where Gambit have been the most slippery, right? Where things have got the weirdest out of any of them, so see if Gambit try and pull something again.
They're walking sewer this time. Double stack with pressure from Nats coming through on Garage. Hulk going to kind of force them around in towards this sort of peak. The red guard's going to pick up. This is still really well choreographed. And keep in mind, the Chronicle is going to now get a little closer. Do they know the Chronicle is here? He looks a little damaged up, but Nats just got FNS and he's pushing their spawn. Nats is pushing in their spawn against someone with an AWP. You know what? Fair enough. 3 players now working around the back lines. Gambit have put a lot into this. And then on the other side, just one trying to hold it down. Ye seems all but too aware. Punishing Nats for this, knowing there's going to be another target, but where is he? What's he up to? It's a frenzy and it's making me uncomfortable. Brimmy's on the way. Chronicle's coming over with now a rifle in hand. So a little bit more threat to this, and Ye now knows 2 targets. Pressure comes in from What? Ye! Get out of here! This guy is living up to that name. And now Ye again, now there's 2 players on the other side. Does he just see the pixel? Out of place, he's still holding the smoke. They come through at the same time. Beautiful. And it's a shutdown. Ye is the devil incarnate right now. You can't get past him.
But look how hard it is for Envy to actually close that round out. Gambit are pushing them to their absolute limit on the back of Sheriffs.
Yep.
And pushing mid, walking sewers. It's so weird, and at this point...
Okay.
Why did we get that one in the highlights? And actually, after Shadows did so well to find one on the way in, actually back through Garage, but I'm absolutely blown away by Gambit. It's so difficult for Envy to learn anything from these rounds, right? To get any sort of feel for, you know, the typical setup, and every round is different here. This literally looks like a pug. Gambit are literally just playing strat roulette.
Sometimes it works. That's the thing, it's just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. And Envy, as you said, they're trying to do their best to maintain it, but how do you adjust for this? We've seen Nats playing just about everyone on this map, be it B, be it Garage, be it A. He's been on C a couple of times. We've seen a couple of players just occasionally walking mid, the double stack sewer. There's so many weird looks that Gambit are like, We can try it. We're not meant to win this traditionally. Why not throw the book out the window and come back in
You are divided.
with something completely unheard of? Space taken. Safe plant should be coming in. Redgar can't really deny that.
Spike planted.
And Marved sitting deep towards window.
Actually, the Lyra's perfect timing. It just makes Marv consider somebody's pushing here. Crashes will find Shados elsewhere, but Marv now needs to find one of them, and it'll be Defo first. The second comes for free. Redgar will fall. Envy close out 8-4.
Taking that back.
Okay, 8-4.
Switching
It's
sides.
a good half, but I'm telling you, some of those rounds were just twisted. So out of the ordinary, and you know what? We're a little blown away by it. I'm sure the desk is as well. Let's not waste time. Let's head down there. How are you guys doing? Because we're in pieces up here.
You love to see it. You love to see it. 8-4 for Envy. But Kukuka, they're not making it very easy for them, though, are they?
I mean, I have to say, I think Pansy was saying, we've seen a lot of changes in the setup in the defensive side. But yeah, I mean, it's Gambit on Haven. We love to see it. Chronicle is having the day of his life. He was having it on the first map, and he's also having it on the second one. But you know, Jay is on the other side, so yeah, I don't think this is gonna change much.
I'm still a little disappointed at what we're seeing, to be honest, out of Gambit, right? Because, yeah, sure, we all expected, oh, they don't really have anything on Haven, blah, 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 blah. But I still, you know, there should have been something more than what we saw from the games before. And
It's their permaban.
I think it's something you
I get that. But this is their biggest
It's the
challenge.
grand finals.
Exactly.
Right?
That's the point.
You know, if they know that they're not going to be the ones getting the ban, Envy banned out Breeze, you know that you're going to be playing on Haven.
They didn't know that. They didn't know that. So.
All right. Well, they knew there was
yeah.
a chance, right? They knew that there was a pretty significant chance that they were going to be playing on Haven. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm disappointed in the same way that you are. I think that some of the things that Gambit have been doing have actually been great. The way that they have fearlessly pushed into things like Spawn, pushed Envy out of their comfort zone is awesome. But I do agree that it's not necessarily the most pre-planned way of playing.
I love to see it. I mean, you were talking about the pushes, and it was crazy because I think that they also mentioned that the fact that they looked like it was a choreograph, like they actually mean to play it this way.
Yeah, I see all that for sure because I'm wrapping it around my head. I'm like, oh, okay, if they just play something weird, then Envy's not, you know, all that type of thing. But the reality is what they're doing right now is they're letting this man right here get hot. Right? On Bind, he was -1 in his first kills and first deaths, his ratio with that, right? That never happens for Ye. Now, that's going to change on its heels. He's going to be hot going to the next couple of maps, and that is a difference maker, I think, for the series.
Yeah, I'm completely with you there, Bala. But we are into the second half now. Pansy and Hypok, I hope you're feeling a little bit better.
I've embraced the madness now. Why not? We are knee deep in it at this point. We're at 8-4. Envy have stabilized. Those last 4 rounds for me were very key for them. If they was going this back and forth the whole way, I'd be worried. I think the elevation of Ye set them up so well, and as they say on the desk, confidence should now be brimming.
See what Gambit's response is on their attack. Straight away going to force at least one player, Victor, off of front of B, and actually back towards Link. But look at the bodies coming through. What?
And Nats has caught the flank.
Of course he has.
To perfection. Now, there is a great trade, though. Crashy still does well to find that and cleanly. Keeps himself at 100 HP, but now receives a little parting gift of a tag there. Down to 54, and now the numbers are starting to look almost insurmountable as Marv presented a 1v3 Redgar on the long way around as well. And the crossfire, excuse me, Marv, that's 1, and that's sharp. 58 HP still stands. 1 left, 1 right. Can't get Defo. Gambit, get round 1.
The Gambit just go all out here and just, I guess, do what they did on defense, just run it down.
Yes. Yes. Because
I
what
would
you have
love
to
to
lose,
see it.
what
I
you
would
have to
love
lose-
to see it.
If, as we, I think we highlight this before, if they play in a more traditional manner, they are nowhere near pound for pound up to Envy's caliber in this. You've
Not
got
at
to
that
do
game.
something
Yeah.
so different. You have to play outside of the norms. You've got to push the boundaries and the limits and just try and do something. And that puts so little pressure on you as well, because you're a map to the good anyway. You've got so much more freedom to go, screw it, if we lose it, we were meant to anyway. If we win it, they could be in bits. So we go back in the buy, well, nothing too surprising. Classics and just the Marshall. So there should be a run over. Bit of a 3-2 split towards the A side. There are players here, and there are right clicks. So Envy are quite good at those, so there it is. Okay. Defo's done well there on the site, and good progress, right?
Well, that's it. Spike down. Victor will go walk about to it. Oh, yay. Another Marshall, but damage done already. 48 HP left on him, will be flashed away. Gambit just foaming at the mouth, hunting him down here. They don't fall, but go for the trade. 3 survived, 3 weapons carried across here. And with the way the first 2 rounds have gone, dare I say it, Gambit have got a good opportunity for another fast hit and make the most of these SMGs. See if there's any adjustment on the side of Envy, or any way that they want to try and address this, at least in the early round. So looking here, again, Gambit will stack up. Spike actually not committed this time around, unless Chronicle will retrieve it here, but...
I think I'm just hesitant to believe, right? I go by stats, I go by what we know, and we live within those means, because it's a dream for a commentator, right? We sit here and we go, oh, but imagine it working, and it never does. It never does. Maybe Gambit can do something that would surprise us all. So early in the second half, though. Red Guard going to be in problems now, but I wonder how much they commit to this. 2 play. Excuse me? Defo and Chinos finding Yace had a bit of a... It's not perfect, but it's a good enough trade. He's kept this round in check as that was about to fall away, but it's only 2. A 2v3 post-plant, 2 rifles recovered.
Take flight.
This is unthinkable, unimaginable.
Yeah, he's drifting towards long as well. There's a trap wire there, so they will know about this flank if it comes through. At least Nats is close enough to find or hear the sound cue, but
Nats
they will deal with it anyway. Nats in cubby now. He's got to dig him out.
He's not gonna. Nats, he's just off the leash. Gambit, how are you doing this? This is 8-7. I'm all aboard the crazy train now. Let's go. Let's go. Just, I've got my ticket. I'm there. Like,
we're here for the ride. we are absolute passengers here.
There's no way. And I imagine all the kind of, you know, the real kind of, I guess, thinking mans out there, the people who love poring over the more strategic elements and the considerations that come with this. This game is something that is so bizarre and out of the norm. I can't wait to hear all their thoughts. I'm sure Sean is losing his mind. Plat chat are in pieces. But, I mean, they like Gambit, so they should be 8. They're broken the money. This should be 8-8.
Should be. Yeah, you're going to make a play for the Blade Storm. He's only 1 away there, but will be dealt with on an opening creative. Victor, the next line of defense for Envy. Stuck in sewers here, and actually will go creeping forwards just ahead of Nats, but it's on the back of the Seekers being popped, and Nats will swing on the second. Crashies will fall. Defo in position to find FNS.
We're in a simulation. It has to be. This is what Anders was talking about all those years. This isn't real life. This is something else. 8-8. Clean.
That's the fastest 4 rounds of any half I think I've ever casted. Okay, that was absolutely ridiculous.
It's Prime Gaming flawless. And it was just like, yep, enemy okay, down. Well, there's going to be him on long. Cool.
1 enemy remaining.
I'll just swing towards CT. Flawless. Yeah, got it. Got it.
Flawless. Just like the posture.
And you know this is going to be frustrating because you've come up with plans that have taken down the prior reigning champions. This was your key map, and now you're being pushed by a Brimstone and some absolute madness.
And Redgar on Arena.
Redgar on Arena, but of course, and there he goes, just going to take control here. Ye's like, okay, here it comes. Op still in hand though, and Redgar's going to start working forward. He's got support here, he's not alone, but FNS, really good way to levy the pressure coming up. But a good trade again for Nats, but the players are in the right place. It's a 2v3. Shados is low. And Marv has been just so good backside. Put him under position. They're going to know where he is. There's now just 1, but it is Chronicle. It's Crashies. We'll find it. Envy.
Stop the bleeding.
Yeah, they stopped the rot, right? Like, that's it. They've stopped the rot for now. Now, for Gambit, though, we saw how clean those rounds were, how quick those rounds were. So you know that the buy, the economy, it's not going to be too far away from them, I'm sure. But I want to keep looking at the likes of Ye. I want to keep my eyes on how he's performing here. Because it's going to be hard to predict an opposition who's super fluid, super just off, you know, maybe emotional calls, audio cues, whatever it is. They can kind of play this very fast and loose style, which can be hard to read into. And we saw him everywhere on the map before. So I want to see how his performance fares in that regard. But right now, he's doing incredibly well. But Redgar, that mid-swing. And Ye, instantly challenged by Nats, but he outdoes him. That's the Ye you want to be seeing if you're an NV fan. Now a couple of tags do come through. The flash goes in. Redgar a little lower, but he's taken himself all towards B. FNS is backside. Comfy catch, and he'll take that every day of the week. As Gambit are hitting the pacey C piece, but they are down to 3 players. They need that plant, and Defo's got the op here, keep in mind. And he's going to switch up to it.
So he's in a position potentially to find one over the top of this smoke. But yeah, she does spot. Yeah, we'll find it. Crashes will fall. Chronicle finds another as well.
Okay, good trade for Victor, but Shados was right there. 10 seconds for his next flash too. He'll have one to post it if they feel that pressure coming in. Seeker comes down, and they adjust towards long. It's been noted, though. They know what's going on here, and Shados just eats that. Defo finding Ye on the fallback for the defuse. It's coming in. They can't see it. FNS just holds it down, and there it is. Envy getting to double digits.
Again, it's such a weird conclusion. I mean, it's weird throughout that. Gambit are on C site when there's 1 minute 20 on the clock, and somebody falls on B, and it's so hard to keep up with what is going on here. But Gambit's still trying to employ just, I guess that just trying to be slippery, right? Trying to keep Envy. They don't want to allow Envy to set up to greet them on any side, but also they're moving fast enough where actually they're completely negating the rotation factor here on Haven, which again leans heavily in their favor.
I agree. Go again, still a purchase found. Look at the buy on the way back.
Wait, is this a default from Gambit?
Nah. Nats will do something with that. No, it's looking defaulty. He's got 2 players hunting him down too. Keep in mind that Ye's in sewer, so if you see that in the kill feed, that's what's happened. But it is that
Red Guard's on
Red Guard's
side.
walked it. He just whoa, and Ye repeaks. He repeaks on that. Defo's just found Victor. I don't know what is going on. I truly don't know. This is great from Gambit, but it's so out there. And Marv now in a 1v5. He's going, he finds Shados, but now position noted. Everything's, tickety-boo. Spike gets collected. It's over towards A. That's safe with Nats. He's not going to let it slip as Chronicle kills him on the way out.
I don't know what Envy do here. Honestly, it's
How do you adjust?
It's so unorthodox.
Oh yeah,
from
call
Gambit.
a tactical timeout. I really want to figure out what to do because Red Guard's just walking B.
He's him and Defo have literally, and again, it's the only time where they've not run it down towards Garage or Red Guard has literally been running in, double leering into Garage like every single round. This round, Defo and Red Guard literally. They walk from double doors, like grass, up mid, into B. There isn't a single peek from Envy whatsoever. So they're almost sitting back and thinking, actually, if they're just going to keep running at us, guys, wait to know where it is, play retake, play connector, sit behind Garage, whatever it is. So Crashes is like, okay, cool, I'm sitting back side. And they've walked in, literally just walked in. Without a single member of Envy knowing anything.
And this is why I want to imagine being a fly on the wall to hear this conversation with Envy, because this is going to be very hard for them to adjust. They look pretty, in good spirits. I mean, it's a little bit of a crunch time because I think their buy is quite weak in this. I think they're coming in with like marshals, sheriffs. I don't know how deep they're going to buy into it, but it is going to be a lighter purchase. But it's the buy round off the back of it that's going to be the interesting one. And for me,
that's the breaker.
Exactly. And once again, that's when pressure starts to hit. We don't get to talk about pressure in these regards when it comes to Gambit because they're playing fast and loose. Anything here is a bonus, and just look at the run of these rounds.
Now we're stacked up. Now we're going to run it down onto C. Great anti-eco strat from Gambit, right?
Yeah.
FNS is there. He's got a classic, and Tommy's on hand, but that's about it.
They've stacked
Envy are about to get proactive on A as well.
Well, they're maybe like, we can maybe isolate Nats. We can maybe punish that solo player. Maybe get a rifle away. Take a bit of space. Probably not. And there it is. So you're going to hear instantly 2 pieces of utility invested. A thunderous amount of footsteps coming your way. There's that layer to follow up. Now, good bits of damage done en route, but he's only got a classic. So the site is there. Spike can go down pretty much unscathed. There will be a challenge, but Shados just puts him to bed.
3 members left for Envy. Yeah, actually, Victor going through mid, considering potentially flanking, but Nats is already going to outflank the flank. Coming deep into spawn now, and becomes that safety net if they can get weird again, but Crashes will fall now. And all but see, Victor will find one, but solo HP now.
Enemy remaining.
This is the team that looked like so good against like Sentinels. Yay! Still looking good. Excuse me, Yay. Got his ult, but it is against big boy Nat, and Ye's gonna get that to halfway. You know it is. Now, Nats, what are you gonna do about this, though? Okay, that's the plan. Okay, forces him off, and the spam comes in. He goes right back out.
No way.
Yay! What can you do? The right click. Nats, he's just doing the dodge.
What am I
He
watching?
gets the frag.
What am I watching? He's got the defuse, Lauren. Yay has just clutched that round.
That was what? Was that a 1v3 or 4?
That was 1v4.
Roll it back. Give me this. Okay, fair enough. Defo's still fighting towards CT. The Chronicle?
Are you kidding me right now? What the hell was this? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep. On the other side, they're just in pieces. You just absolutely fed a 1v4 in a grand final. Like, yeah, guess so. What? We go again.
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not?
What's next?
And Victor, top of sewer, and this is all in, pretty much. Yeah, the team's come down, they confirmed it. There goes the ult as well. Defo's claimed yay, but Victor still stands. Now Crashies gets revealed here. Victor just sprays away because the Liz come out. Nats doubles down and it finds Victor. Spike goes in, they find Crashies. It's a clean side take. They answer back in kind. Oh yeah, well, we know that one of the players is quite good, but we're all doing pretty well right now. So try and do it again. 11 to 9 is going to be about to be 11 to 10. As these two players, they're keeping those rifles. They're backing away.
FNS and Marv want nothing to do with this at all.
It's just truly this wild animal. Gambit are playing completely untamed Valorant at the moment. We've seen, as I said, straight up takes towards C, this all-in A piece, those mad walk-up mids by Redgar. This is just no hold bar. This is all in. Cage triggered. I'm loving it. Let's go.
I mean, here again, after that round victory from MV, there'll be an opportunity to reset the economy. They will actually find FNS as well. So everything removed from MV. Gambit, bring it within 1 round. What's next? Let's spin the wheel.
Yeah.
Which side do we hit?
They look so good at this.
They look so good running at a site. Who'd have thought? From what we saw on Bind, we saw on their attack, right?
How many times do we ask for it?
Who'd have thought?
Just that little switch up of pace. Oh, imagine if they play a little bit like this once in a while.
They're still reading from the overtime memo, which is actually every
right.
overtime attack round, let's rush. Let's rush the site.
They've still got that version of the script. Someone get them something new. Well, let them win a round so they can get a buy and then we'll absolutely destroy their economy again. That's a great plan. And a little bit of a default, but then Redgar's still walking up middle. They're still taking A long. And again, if they fell out this C stack, maybe Redgar's going to be able to punish these rotations so nastily if they keep working towards A, that is.
Smoke. So yeah, Redgar's going to be behind this as well. Yay, actually creeping. Is he giving one? No, Defo's going to find him this time around. Crashies down to 7 HP from that early engagement. Flash comes through, they line up, Zados will find 2. It's just the 7 HP of Crashies remaining. And would you look at that? It's going to be 11-4. What?
Remember this moment. Remember this, because this is a one-off. It's a rarity. This is something that you play it 10 times over. I don't know what result you're going to get, but this is something so out of the ordinary that somehow Gambit have elevated themselves into a map that they just simply do not lean towards. They do not play that often. It is just not within that map pool. But right now we're at 11-11. Envy are stunned. They are stun locked here. They don't know what to do with this. The tactical timeout gave them nothing because once again Gambit just go, I'm going long. And Redgar has gone long. Now Victor tucked towards the corner and Crashes by his side. Chronicle going to be the one to show. Okay, both now noted. Victor does have both his flashes and seekers ready on this corner. Now he waits. First charge, Redgar loses it. And now Crashies has to fall off this. There is a lean from Ye. He's come on over to try and help him out a little bit here because there's pressure, but they haven't overly committed. Defo!
Oh
Where's this man been the entire time? Defo is looking real nasty right now. Crashies pushes up, tries to get something back. It's only a 1-4 trade, it ain't enough. And look at Nats on the flank. It's all perfect. This is going to be 12 on the board. FNS. What can you do? Nothing! 12 for Gambit! Welcome to the absolute upside-down world of what we're seeing in this grand final. There was never a moment anyone would have said, yeah, Gambit, love a bit of this map. Big one for him. No way, compared to Envy?
This is literally choreographed chaos. Like, down to a T. I mean, what do you do against this? Even where like the first 10 seconds or so there, Gambit is still stacked up, right? But they're able then to dictate the pace of that execution. They get a slight overstep from Victor. And right there, they punish immediately.
Look at the final buy they're coming in with here, potentially on map 2. We go again, and Gambit just roll in towards C. It's theirs as well. Completely clean. Execution doesn't look bad, but ain't no one to challenge it. It's all down to a retake. The purchase, a little light for FNS, but he's got his ult. Victor got his ult. Crashy's ult. They've got so much to play with here.
So many components here. The lockdown going to be the first one. Defo nearly catch it. Actually, we'll find what? How? Has fallen.
How has this happened? And now Redgar pushes CT. FNS and Ye are just out of their minds with no idea what to do. FNS fights back with Ye. It's a 2v3, but numbers still so favorable. How do they find that final hurdle? How do they get even on the spike? Ye did the unimaginable before, but it's going to be FNS to find Shados trade for Nats, and now it's just down to FNS in a 1v2. Nats claims it, and Gambit walk away winning the map. That was absolute, unadulterated chaos between those two, and they thrived in it.
I mean, I've never seen a team just embrace chaos like that. And they made it look so comfortable as well, Lauren. Even in the rounds where they're trading back and forth with Envy, it's like Envy are unable to recover from some of those really advantageous positions in the early round. They find a first blood, they find a second, they trade 2 for 1 on certain site hits and still lose out.
And Ye had a good game. He almost dropped a 30 in that. It wasn't like he was having an off performance or anything weird. Like,
yeah, he had a great game. Redgar had 10 first bloods. Redgar just had 10 first bloods on that Reyna.
He just walked in. I don't know how Redgar got away with getting in towards those sites with a gigantic pair of balls he's dragging with him. Just walking in. He did not care. And like Chronicle on the start as well. Nats on those lurks, like ratting around.
Spike down.
NA, how you feel? Like this has got me some way.
The first confirmed Nat smirk.
We've seen it. The man is just like ice cold normally. There's never even a smile, but there it was. It takes this to come out. It takes this mad haven to come out.
It really says something. When we see Gambit, literally, again, throw, whether or not Ye clutches up, and then it's laughing off. They're like, guys, we've got them exactly where we want them. We have them exactly where we want them to be here on Haven, and they're able to push it through. I mean, it's just insane what we've just witnessed.
Yep. I could watch this back and I still wouldn't get my head around it.
I want to see every VOD review ever on this map.
I wait for someone to try and make complete logical guesses during any time you watch this, because this is Gambit elevating beyond any expectation. We saw this map pool initially and we're like, map 1's really dicey if it goes the wrong way, because look at what's next.
Well, I was theorizing, right? Even if this goes 1-1, right? Then it's like, okay, Gambit got a best of 3, which actually, you look at that best of 3 and you think, Gambit probably take that, right?
Yep.
I mean, at least that's their best chance. Now we're in a scenario where Bind and Haven have gone in their favor already. I'm absolutely blown away by that.
Same. We're going to take a moment. I need some fresh air. I need something other than what I just saw, because I still can't compute it. We're going to head to a short break. When we're back, the desk is going to take you through whatever they've made of that. Good luck. And we'll be back right into game as well.